Hey guys, today I'm trying to wrap my head around something terrifying. What happens when the US government shuts down? And honestly, my brain's already starting to melt. Picture this. I walk into a convenience store to buy some turkey jerky and gummy bears. I hand over my shiny little plastic card, and the cashier just shrugs and says, "Sorry, government's shut down." I blink. Wait, does that mean meat stopped working? He sighs, points at the TV behind him, where two people in suits are screaming at each other about the budget. So now I'm panicking. Where's the leader of the tribe? Why is no one fixing this? Is this witchcraft? Are we at war with Canada? I go looking for answers, and all I get is some crumpled article filled with numbers, dates, and something called a continuing resolution. I tried reading it. My soul left my body. I used to think only families could shut down, like when my wife gets mad and stops cooking dinner. But now, the entire government does it? If you don't understand how this works, you might end up broke, hungry, and lying face down in a cold ditch, wondering why the national parks are closed and your cousin's paycheck disappeared. Before you get too comfy on your couch, smash the like button and hit the magical subscribe stick, but only if I make you laugh or at least think twice. And hey, drop a comment. What city's your cave and what time is your moon? Now grab your seat, hold on to your eyebrows, and let's walk straight into the glowing chaos of today's hunt. So I started digging. What does a government shutdown actually mean? Turns out, it's a lot like when your family forgets to prep for winter. No firewood, no food, everyone blaming everyone else while freezing together in silence. In modern terms, the US government runs on a yearly budget. Congress, the two tribes of elected officials, has to pass laws that approve spending for the entire year. That means shiny rocks, aka money, for hospitals, schools, airports, panda cams, squirrel research, everything. But if the red-feathered side and the blue-feathered side can't agree on how many shiny rocks go where, by a specific deadline, the budget doesn't pass. And if the budget doesn't pass, boom, shutdown. That means a huge chunk of the government loses legal permission to spend money. Not because there's no money, but because Congress didn't officially say, yes, go ahead and use it. Imagine trying to cook a family dinner, but your spouse refuses to agree on whether to use the oven or the grill. So no dinner. Everyone's hungry, but legally, you can't heat anything. And it's not just the fun stuff that stops. You might still have people defending the tribe, like air traffic controllers or military folks, but they're working without pay. Other offices? Locked. Websites? Down. National parks? Barred shut. The tribe doesn't burn down, it just starts slowly freezing, because when leadership can't make fire, the people suffer the cold. Now I was really confused. Why does the entire modern tribe lose its mind every time someone mentions a shutdown? Every few months, it's all over the glowing screens. Shutdown imminent! Countdown! People start tweeting, posting dramatic videos, and crying on morning TV. So I did what any curious person would do. I sat down to watch the news. It was like an ancient shouting ritual. One guy with a shiny bald head yells, "We're spending too much." A lady across from him fires back, "You're cutting programs that feed grandmothers." Then they both point at a big red and blue chart, and for some reason there's a panda in the corner with a sad face. I asked, "Wait, why is the panda sad?" They said, "Because the panda cam gets shut down during a budget crisis." And that's when I realized, this is serious. People lose it when they can't watch baby pandas blink on camera. Suddenly, it's not just a budget issue, it's a spiritual crisis. And the tribe? Split right down the middle. One group says, "Shut it down, the government's too big." The other says, "If you shut it down, people suffer." Even the kids get involved. They don't understand federal appropriations, but they do understand when their field trip to the museum gets canceled. Here's the real reason people obsess over shutdowns. It's not just about money. It's about power. It's about blame. And more than anything, it's drama. Shutdowns are political reality TV except with real consequences and no commercial breaks. And of course, I thought I could fix it. Yeah, that was my first mistake. I figured, if Congress can't agree on a budget, maybe I'll make one myself. So I grabbed a big piece of paper, a marker, and started slashing through expenses like a discount warrior. Cut funding for national dance festivals. Cut money for cloud storage and mysterious panda cams. Definitely cut the chief's personal helicopter budget. I was feeling proud, smart, responsible, finally a budget the people could trust. Then I showed it to the tribe. At first, applause. People loved it until they actually read it. Turns out I accidentally cut funding for school lunches, the community clinic, my wife's cousin's department, who happens to guard flaming potholes for a living. Suddenly I was the villain. My wife was furious. She packed up her soup pot and said, "Good luck eating cold beans." The kids cried because I'd ruined their museum trip. The village elder fainted when he realized I'd eliminated his consulting fee. Even the raccoons organized a protest. Yes, literal raccoons, tiny signs and everything. So what went wrong? I treated the budget like it was just numbers, but it's not. It's people's jobs, their dignity, their sense of safety. And when you forget that, you don't just create inconvenience, you create chaos. That's the real danger of a shutdown. It's not just services getting paused, it's trust collapsing like a roof that should have been fixed 3 storms ago. After my failed attempt at solving the shutdown with a doodle on printer paper, I decided to go observe a real shutdown in action. I figured everything must stop, right? Nope. To my surprise, certain people were still working. Like actually doing their jobs, just not getting paid. I saw firefighters racing toward burning buildings. Nurses working double shifts at hospitals. TSA agents scanning luggage at airports with dead eyes and empty wallets. I asked one of the firefighters, "Wait, aren't you part of the shutdown?" He nodded, "Yup." "So, why are you here?" He shrugged. "We still have to keep people safe. The paycheck part just comes later, maybe." I stood there, stunned. These weren't just jobs, they were lifelines, and the people running them were operating purely on duty, not dollars. Postal workers kept delivering mail. Air traffic controllers kept planes from smashing into each other. Border Patrol still did their thing, all while getting IOUs from the government. It felt less like a shutdown and more like a twisted reality show. Who wants to be a civil servant for free? These people were heroes, but no parades, no medals, just cold pizza in the break room and a hope that Congress might remember them next week. The worst part, most people didn't even notice. So here's the first trick of a shutdown. The work continues, but the gratitude disappears. And somewhere in all of that, something feels deeply broken. After watching underpaid heroes hold the country together with duct tape and hope, I figured I'd clear my head with a nature trip. Relax, trees, birds, that kind of thing. So I grabbed some beef jerky and headed to a national park. When I got there, a big wooden sign slapped me in the face, "Closed due to government shutdown." I thought maybe a bear had taken over, or the trees had unionized, but nope, just a budget failure. A weary park ranger explained it to me. No funding, no staff, the park's closed. "Wait," I asked, "you can shut down nature?" She laughed, then rattled off the list. No trail guides, no emergency response teams, no clean restrooms, no panda cam, no passport processing, no environmental permits, and yes, no panda cam. That's when I realized we were at DEFCON 1. Because forget the economy, if you take away America's ability to watch a baby panda blink live on camera, people riot. It's not just parks either. During a shutdown, entire government agencies go dark. The ones that issue permits, approve visas, track storms, inspect food, they all hit pause. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's slow and silent. But when you shut down the systems people rely on to feel safe, inspired, or just, it adds up fast. And somehow, in the middle of all that, the panda cam becomes a symbol, not of cuteness, of dysfunction. Just when I thought things couldn't get any weirder, an old political veteran pulled me aside like he was about to sell me a black market scroll. He whispered, "There's a trick they use. It's called a continuing resolution." Sounds magical, right? Like a spell, or a scroll you burn to summon compromise. But here's the reality. It's duct tape for democracy. When Congress can't agree on a full annual budget, which is often, they pass a continuing resolution, or CR, to temporarily extend last year's funding. Basically, we haven't figured it out yet, so let's just keep doing what we were doing for a little longer. It's the legislative equivalent of hitting snooze on your alarm and telling your boss, "I'm totally awake, just give me 2 more weeks." Sure, it avoids a shutdown for now, but it doesn't solve anything. No new plan, no updated priorities, just a recycled promise to try again later. These CRs get passed at the last minute like a deadline dance. Lawmakers argue for weeks, then agree to a 30-day extension 5 minutes before midnight. Rinse and repeat. And the worst part? Everyone cheers. Shutdown averted, but nothing's been fixed, just delayed. It's like patching a roof with a banana peel and praying it doesn't rain. Eventually, the storm arrives. Continuing resolutions may keep the lights on, but they also keep the problems festering. And no one wants to admit the roof is still leaking. After everything I'd seen, the unpaid workers, the closed parks, the panda cam blackout, and the magical delay scrolls, I sat outside one night, staring up at the moon. It was quiet, cold, and I started thinking, shutdowns aren't just about money, they're about something far older and far dumber: pride. Every time the government grinds to a halt, it's because no one wants to back down. The red-feathered leaders blame the blue-feathered ones. The blue ones point right back. It's like watching 2 grown adults argue over who forgot to pack lunch, while the whole family sits starving in the car. In the old days, when tribes had conflict, we gathered around a fire, passed the talking stick, maybe wrestled a bit, and came to a solution. Now, it's talking points and press conferences and posturing until everyone forgets what we were even fighting about. Shutdowns don't usually collapse society overnight, but they corrode it, slowly, quietly. They chip away at trust between leaders and workers, between citizens and systems, between people and hope. And when you lose trust, the fire dies, not from outside forces, but from inside rot. Because tribes don't fall when the fire goes out. They fall when the people around the fire stop talking. You can't fix that with money, or votes, or panda cams. You fix it by remembering why the fire was built in the first place. After living through my own personal shutdown disaster, complete with canceled field trips, angry raccoons, and a wife who now cooks exclusively for the neighbor, I realized something had to change. Next time the tribe faces a shutdown, I'm not making another budget scroll alone. I'm bringing everyone to the fire. We'll sit together, me, the kids, my wife, if she forgives me, maybe even the squirrel who steals from our garden, and we'll build a plan. Not a perfect one, not one that makes everyone happy, but one that keeps the fire lit. No more cutting funds just to look strong. No more magical delay scrolls that solve nothing. And absolutely no more sacrificing the panda cam unless it's truly life or death. Because here's what I've learned. When people feel heard, they'll make sacrifices. When people feel respected, they'll compromise. When people feel invisible, that's when things fall apart. So what would I do differently? I'd talk. I'd listen. I'd ask dumb questions without shame. I'd value the soup maker just as much as the warrior. I'd remember that the guy inspecting meat for bacteria is just as essential as the one giving speeches on TV. That's how tribes stay warm. Even if the feast is smaller, at least no one's left in the cold. Because sometimes the best way to fix a big problem is with a small fire, a shared meal, and the humility to say, maybe I don't know everything. Let's figure it out together. So, what did I learn from all this? Government shutdowns aren't just about missing paychecks or closed parks. They're a symptom of something deeper. A tribe so caught up in winning the argument, it forgets how to light the fire. If we want things to change, it won't come from shouting louder. It'll come from listening harder, from writing better budget scrolls, from remembering that behind every number, there's a person. And maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't wait until the panda cam goes offline to start caring. If this video made you laugh, made you think, or made you panic buy canned soup, smash the like button like it just canceled your vacation. Hit that magic scribe stick, subscribe, so you never miss another tribal crisis, and drop a comment. If you had the budget scroll, what would you cut? What would you protect? I'll be in the comments, probably arguing with a raccoon again. Thanks for sitting by the fire. Ooga booga.